Hello, good day, and welcome back again to Bodman IELTS Academy. My name is Babatunde Olaniran. If you have not subscribed to this channel, kindly click on the subscribe button so that you can have my latest video on various topics of the IELTS. Today, I'll be teaching you about list of headings. List of headings. List of heading is one of the most common questions in IELTS. List of headings. What is list of headings? Now, I like to teach people how to recognize a particular question first before I will teach you how to approach it. So you must know the question you are about to solve before you will remember the approach to use. List of heading questions that are actually is when you want to solve list of heading question, they will give you some headings, and you will see it there, list of headings, and they will write the headings. They will number the headings in Roman figures, Roman figure 1, Roman figure 2, and so on. That is list of headings. That is list of headings. So it is clear. It is clear. Once you see list of heading, you know this is list of heading question. Now, when you have a list of heading question and you have a passage, the passage we will use to solve the list of heading, the passage is always labeled A, B, C, D. The paragraphs are always labeled A, B, C, D. So paragraph A, paragraph B, paragraph C, D, E, F, like that. So you won't just have a paragraph that is not labeled. So when you have a list of heading question to be used, to be answered, the paragraph will be labeled like that. So what they are saying is that you should give each paragraph a heading. So each paragraph of that passage, they want you to give it a heading. And you must choose from the headings they gave you. You must choose from the headings they gave you. So if you look at the list of headings, the headings are always more than the number of paragraphs you have in that passage. Don't forget, I told you the passage will be labeled A, B. Each paragraph will be labeled A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Now, if the headings are more than the number of paragraphs, that means there are some headings there that are just distractions. You can't get them as an answer. You can't get some heading there as an answer. They are just there as distractions. Now, when you see list of heading question, how will you approach it? How will you approach it? The first thing is to look at the question, the page where they listed the heading. Don't forget, I told you, don't read the passage. Always go straight to the question. So you have gone to the question, you see that this is list of heading. That page where they listed the list of headings, check, is there any paragraph that has been used as an example? Is there any paragraph that has been used as an example? If a paragraph has been used, they will write it there. Example, paragraph B, they will write the answer. They will write example, paragraph B, they will write the answer. They will write the Roman figure. If you see that a paragraph has been used as an example, check the answer they pick. I will show you how it looks like. I will show you. I will show you now. If a paragraph has been used as an example like that, look at the answer they pick for the example. Go and cross it. You cannot get that answer again. You can't get that answer again. Just cross the answer straight away. The heading they pick for the example. Cross it. That is the first thing when you are dealing with list of headings. There are some questions they didn't use any paragraph as an example. So you have to solve all the paragraph. You have to solve all the paragraph. You have to give heading to all the paragraph. But in a place where a paragraph has been used as an example, that paragraph that has been used as an example is not part of that question. It's not part of the list of heading question. You don't need it. Now, How will you approach a list of heading question? How will you approach it? Now, I've told you, cross the heading that has been used as an example. The second thing, don't read the heading at first. Take note of my tips. If you want to solve this question, don't read those headings. I told you, just cross the one that has been used as don't read it. Since you know that you are to give headings to all the paragraph, just go straight to the first paragraph, paragraph A. Of course, you know paragraph A will be the first paragraph to be solved. Except paragraph A has been used as an example. If paragraph A was used as an example, that means paragraph A is not part of your question. Just go to paragraph B. They will write it there. Paragraph A, question 14, paragraph A, question 15, paragraph B. They will write it there like that. So you know that your question, you will know your first question, your first paragraph. So in this question I will be using, paragraph A is question 14. Paragraph A is question 14. Don't forget my tip. Don't read the heading. Just go straight to the first question, which is paragraph A. Now, they want you to give a heading to paragraph A. Quickly read the paragraph. Quickly read the paragraph. How to read? How will you read the paragraph? How do you read a paragraph very fast? I will teach you. This is how to read only one paragraph you are reading. This is how to read a paragraph in IELTS. Read slowly the first 2 or 3 sentences, depending on how big the paragraph is. Read slowly the first 2 or 3 sentences. Know what that first 3 or 3 sentences, what they are talking about there. Quickly read the middle of the paragraph and slow down. When you get to the end of the paragraph, the last 2 sentences, slow down and read it. I will show you how to do that now. In this question, we are using the question from Cambridge 13 Test 1, Passage 2. Cambridge 13 Test 1, Passage 2. The title of the passage is Why Being Bored is Stimulating and Useful Too. Why being bored is stimulating and useful too. So if you go to the first paragraph, I told you how to read the paragraph. Read the first 2 or 3 sentences slowly. Now, if you read this now, we all know how it feels. It's impossible to keep your mind on anything. Time stretches out, and all the things you could do seems equally unlikely to make you feel better. That is the first sentence. What are they talking about? They are just describing something, but we don't know what they are talking about. But defining boredom so that it can be studied in the lab has proved difficult. Now we know they are talking about boredom. That is the second sentence. We all know how it feels. It's better to keep your mind on anything. Time stretches out, all the things you could do seems equally unlikely to make you feel better. But defining boredom so that it can be studied in the lab has proved difficult. Studying boredom in the lab has been difficult. For a start, so that is the first 2 sentences. I can read the third sentence slowly too. Of course, reading slowly makes you understand what they are talking about. For a start, it can include a lot of other mental states such as frustration, apathy, depression, and indifference. There isn't even agreement over whether boredom is always a low energy, flat kind of emotion, or whether feeling agitated and restless count as boredom too. Can you see? That's the middle. There are some things that are not clear. They are saying there are some things that are not even clear, whether they should be classified as boredom or not. In his book, Boredom, A Lively History, Peter Toye of the University of Calgary, Canada, compared it to the disgust. I need to slow down when I'm getting to the last 2 sentences of that paragraph. So this person compared it to disgust. If disgust protects humans from infection, boredom may protect them from infectious social situations, he suggests. Now, reading this paragraph once, without looking at it again, I know that, okay, they were talking about boredom at the beginning. They describe it, and they are saying it is difficult to describe in the lab. And they say that in the middle, they say there are things that You don't even know whether they should be classified as boredom. And somebody in his book compared boredom to disgust. That if something disgusts you, that means you don't want to touch that thing. That means disgust protects people from infection. So if disgust protects you from infection, boredom may protect from infectious social situations. So that means boredom can also protect from dangerous social situations. That is what this passage is talking about. You don't need to read and understand the passage. Just know the paragraph. Just know what the paragraph talk about. I don't need you to. I am describing it so that it will be clear to you. You don't need it. You don't need to understand the paragraph, but know that okay, at the beginning of the paragraph, this is what it talk about. But that beginning and the end is very important. You must know what they talk about in the paragraph, even if you cannot explain it. Just know that, oh, they talk about boredom in the beginning. They describe the type and so on in the beginning. That is what you need. After reading the paragraph, listen, step-by-step approach. Don't read the heading. If a paragraph has been used as an example, cross the heading because you can't get that heading as an answer again. Go straight to the first question, that is the first paragraph. Read the paragraph. I have taught you how to quickly read a paragraph. After you have finished reading that one paragraph, go back to the headings. Listen here. Go back to the headings. Read all the heading from the first to the last. Don't jump any heading. Read all the heading from the first to the last heading. And as you read each heading, think about it. Is this what I read in that paragraph? Is this what this paragraph is talking about? Don't forget, you have only read one paragraph. You should know whether that heading is related to what the paragraph talks about or not. Now, let us look at the headings for this question. The first heading there, the productive outcomes that may result from boredom. Did that paragraph talk about any productive outcome that may result from boredom? Did it talk about it? Think about it. The productive outcomes. Read the heading very well. The heading also give you a hint to the answer. The productive outcomes. That means they are saying that the paragraph talk about outcomes that may result from boredom. Did you read anything like that in that paragraph? 2. What teachers can do to prevent boredom. Did the paragraph talk about that? What teachers can do. Did they even talk about teachers at all? 3. A new explanation and a new cure for boredom. Did they talk about explanation and a cure for boredom in that paragraph that we just read? 4. Problems with a scientific approach to boredom. Problem with scientific approach to boredom. I think we read something like that, where they talk about, now when you see that you read something like that, if you look at that paragraph, we say, but defining boredom so that it can be studied in the lab has proved difficult. For a start, it can include a lot of mental states such as frustration, apathy, depression, and indifference. There is even agreement. There is no agreement over whether boredom is always a low energy and so on. But the paragraph says in the second sentence, defining boredom so that it can be studied in the lab. That's scientific study. Sometimes I told you they use synonym. When you study something in the lab, that is a scientific experiment. But you won't stop. You will still read all the heading because there may be a better heading that is suited to that paragraph. But you need to keep an eye on that heading. 5. A potential danger arising from boredom. Did they discuss potential danger? Creating a system of classification for feeling of boredom. Creating a system of classification. Did they talk about that? There's nothing like that. Age groups most affected by boredom. They didn't talk about any age group most affected. Identifying those most affected by boredom. Did that paragraph talk about it? In list of heading, you will pick the best heading. Two headings may look similar sometimes. But if you look at these headings now and this paragraph, the only heading that looks similar to what we read in that paragraph is problems with a scientific approach to boredom. That is the only thing that spoke about something discussed in that paragraph. So that is the answer we will go with for now. When you pick an answer, don't conclude that that answer is 100% right. Sometimes you may be 100% right. I may be 100% right because I've mastered this. Because if you look at all the heading, there's not even one that is related to that. Now, that is how to solve list of heading question. I've picked Roman figure. So for question 14 now, Roman figure 4 will be my answer. I will now move to the next paragraph and repeat the same thing. Repeat the same thing. So I will read the paragraph the way I read the fourth paragraph. By asking people about their experiences of boredom. By asking people about their experience of boredom. Thomas Goethe and his team at the University of Constance in Germany have recently identified 5 distinct types: indifferent, calibrating, searching, reactant, and apathetic. So this sentence is saying that Thomas Goethe and his team identify 5 different types of boredom by asking people about their experience. Now, that is the first sentence. This can be plotted on 2 axes, one running left to right, which measure which measure low to high arousal, and the other from top to bottom, which measures how positive or negative the feeling is. Intriguingly, Goethe has found that while people experience all kinds of boredom, they tend to specialize in one. Of the 5 types, the most damaging is reactant. Boredom with its explosive combination of high arousal and negative emotions. The most useful is what Goethe called indifferent boredom. Indifferent boredom. The most dangerous, the most useful. Okay? Someone isn't engaged in anything satisfying but still feel relaxed and calm. However, it remains to be seen whether there are any character traits that predict the kind of boredom each of us might be prone to. So in this paragraph, what they are talking about, you should be able to, at least reading once, you should be able to talk about what they talk about in the paragraph. So they talk about Goethe and his team carrying out experiments, identifying 5 types of boredom, and they talk about how to identify it by plotting it on a graph from top to bottom and so on and so forth. So it is the graph that will determine which kind of boredom this person have. That is what they are talking about in that paragraph. So you will go to the heading again. Always ensure you read the heading one by one. Even the one you have picked before, number 4. You know you have picked Roman figure 4 as an answer for question. You will still read it. Because sometimes you may pick a wrong heading for a paragraph. So if you have picked the wrong heading before, you may see that that heading you picked before is more suited to another paragraph. So you read all the heading. Always make sure you read all. Now, let's read the heading and compare it to what we read in that paragraph, in paragraph B. The productive outcome that may result from boredom. Did we read anything like productive outcome that may result from boredom in that paragraph? I don't think so. I don't think so. Roman figure 2, what teachers can do to prevent boredom. Did we read anything like that? No. A new explanation and a new cure for boredom. Did they talk about new explanation, new cure for boredom in that paragraph? No. You can see that list of heading is so straightforward. There are some heading you can easily rule out that, no, I didn't even read anything related to this in this paragraph. You can rule them out. So continue. Problem with a scientific approach to boredom. They didn't talk about problem to scientific approach to boredom in that part. They didn't even talk about scientific approach at all. The only thing that is related to science is that they identify by asking, they were just asking people. They didn't study anything in the lab. So number 5, a potential danger arising from boredom. Did they talk about potential danger? They didn't talk about any potential danger arising. Potential danger, anything, something that is likely to happen as a result of boredom. They talk about anything like that? No. They just describe the best type and the worst type. They didn't talk about potential danger that may result. If you continue, creating a system of classification for feeling of boredom. Creating a system of classification for feelings of boredom. Classification, a system of classification. There is something like that in that paragraph, but let's keep our eye on that. Let's continue. You must read all the heading. Maybe there's another one that is related to that paragraph. Age groups most affected by boredom. We didn't read anything like age group in that paragraph. So 8, identifying those most affected by boredom. Did they describe anything like identifying the people that are most affected by boredom? They didn't talk about anything like that. So the only answer that is related to that paragraph is creating a system of classification for feeling of boredom. And if you go to that paragraph again, by asking people about their experiences of boredom, by asking people about their experience, Thomas Gate and his team at the University of Constance, Germany, they identified 5 distinct types, classification. They identified 5 types: indifferent, calibrating, searching, reactant, and apathetic. This can be plotted on 2 axes. One running left to right, which measure low to high arousal, and the other from top to bottom. That is explaining to you how they were able to classify the 5 different types, how they were able to identify it. Can you see? List of heading is a straightforward question. The Roman figure in front of the heading will be your answer. However, if you don't take my last tip serious, you will always miss 2 to 3 answers in list of heading. What is my last tip that I gave you? I told you always read all the headings. Some of you are so lazy. You will think you have gotten the answer because you have picked a heading before. You will not read it. You will think, I've picked that heading before. I don't need to read it. No, you have to read it, because what if the answer you pick for the other paragraph is wrong? You must read all the headings, because by the time you read all the headings, something will tell you that, oh, this heading is more suited to this paragraph than the other one I picked. This is more suited to this paragraph. So you have to read all the heading and then come back to the one you are thinking is the best heading. Don't forget, you are picking the best heading. This is how to solve list of heading. This is how to solve list of heading. You will pick the next paragraph, read it again, read all the heading, and pick the heading that is most suitable. You pick the heading that is most suitable. So if I still continue like this, if I continue like this, to read paragraph C. Paragraph C says, psychologist Sandy Mann at the University of Central Lancashire, UK, goes further. All emotions are there for a reason. He explained further, all emotions are there for a reason, including boredom. So he's saying boredom is there for a reason. She says, man has found that being bored makes us more creative. Being bored makes us more creative. We are all afraid of being bored, but in actual fact, it can lead to all kinds of amazing things. So this one is saying another thing, that boredom can lead to a lot of amazing things. She says, in experiment published last year, man found that people who had been made to feel bored by copying numbers out of the phone book for 15 minutes came up with more creative ideas about how to use a polystyrene cup than control group. So they found this out in an experiment. Man concluded that a passive, boring activity is best for creativity because it allows the mind to wander. In fact, she goes so far as to suggest that we should seek out more boredom in our lives. So this one are actually talking about the creative things that may result from boredom. So they are saying that if you are doing an activity that is making you bored, it can actually lead to creativity. That is what they are talking about in this paragraph. Now you have an idea of what the paragraph is talking about. You will go to the heading again. Roman figure 1, the productive outcomes that may result from boredom. Does that ring a bell? The productive outcomes that may result from boredom. Take note. Let's continue to read. We'll still read all the headings. What teachers can do to prevent boredom. They didn't talk about teachers at all and what they can do to prevent boredom. So that one automatically ruled out. A new explanation and a new cure for boredom. I don't think we read anything about cure for boredom in that paragraph. Problem with a scientific approach to boredom. I don't think that is related to that paragraph. A potential danger arising from boredom. Did they talk about danger there? I don't think so. Creating a system of classification for feeling of boredom. I don't think they talk about classification there. Age group most affected by boredom. Did they describe any age group that is most affected? Did they talk about an age group most affected by boredom in that paragraph? I don't think so. 8. Identifying those most affected by boredom. Identifying those most affected by boredom. Did they talk about that in that paragraph? No. You can see that it is clear that Roman figure 1 is your answer. The productive outcomes that may result from boredom. Because if you look at that paragraph, that was everything they discussed in that paragraph. The productive outcome that may result from boredom. So Roman figure 1 will be the answer for that. So that is how to go about the list of headings. But always take note of that tip because it will guide you so that you won't miss some answer. If you have actually missed some answer before, that tip will guide you to correct yourself. That is the good thing about reading all the headings. Reading all the headings is very important. Carry any question in Cambridge anywhere. Use these tips on them and see how good you will be in list of heading. Carry any question at all in the IELTS practice book. You will see that this tip is really working. So that is how to go about list of headings. In the next class, I will be discussing other topic. I'll be going into another topic. So if you have any question, kindly drop to me in the comment box. Or if there is anything or any part of the IELTS you want me to teach, just drop it in the comment box. I will respond to them. Thank you very much. Don't forget, click on subscribe button. Click on subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything. Just click on it, and whenever I drop a new video on a new topic on the IELTS, you will be alerted. Thank you very much, and thanks for watching.